Hello, welcome to Life with Francie podcast, a place where you will find all types of conversation like mental health, self-love, self-care, trauma, hobbies, and more. With this podcast, I want to create a community where we support one another in business and personal life. Hope you enjoy this episode. Now, let's get the show started. On today's episode, I have the pleasure to talk to Carly Pepin. I forgot to ask her how to pronounce her last name before I started the interview. But we found each other through Women in Podcasting community, an amazing community where we teach women how to start, grow, or monetize their podcasts. And we also have an amazing online event hosted by me, Power Networking for Podcasters. So come and check it out, Women in Podcasting community. So back to Carly. She is an human behavior specialist. She helps others transform their stressors to keep them feeling stuck from expanding in their leadership as well as their personal life. So let's get this conversation started. Hi, Carly. Welcome to the show. What is life with you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So basically, like the main thing that I love to focus on is our vision, mission, and our purpose. And the reason why I love to do that is because everything in our life, whether we know it or not, is actually surrounded by just that. Every day that you wake up, everything that you would love to do, everything that you would love to live for, everything that you would love to create is actually in alignment with your purpose. So, any stressors that you are going through, anything that is challenging you, anytime you feel a disconnect from that purpose, you feel a disconnect from life, from yourself. You feel stuck, you feel stagnant, you don't feel alive, you don't feel inspired. And the interesting thing is that every person on this planet has the desire to feel alive, to wake up daily feeling inspired by their life, to not want to procrastinate, to be taking action on what's most important to them, to create a life by design. And they just don't know why they can't do it. And the biggest reason is a disconnection with what their true purpose is. And it's not because it's actually not present, but it's because there's so much brain noise that comes forward through the comparisons with other people out there in the world. You look at someone else and you think, well, what are they doing? How are they doing it? Well, they've done it, so they must have the answer. And if I replicate and duplicate that, then I'll get that too. And that's actually not the truth. You're not meant to imitate anyone on the outside world. You're meant to learn from them and stand on their shoulders, utilize what they have, but then put it in your own form, in your own unique purpose. And that's where you truly thrive. We're meant to stand on the shoulders of those who are out there, being able to assist us in showing us what's possible, but not emulate them. The minute that you emulate them, you actually become more disconnected from your purpose, more disconnected from yourself, and you're trying to live outside of a life that's truly yours. You're trying to live someone else's life. So it's interesting because when we get stuck, when we feel stagnant, you're not stuck because there's anything wrong with you. You hit a wall because you're trying to live a life that's actually not your own, and you're meant to get stuck, because why would the universe want to support you in doing anything that you're not meant to do? So it's quite inspiring when we kind of dive into the details of understanding yourself, understanding your values, and understanding your purpose so that you can truly become and design a life that you would love.
I love that, and I see your passion for your mission. How did it start? It?
Same. I mean, same thing that I help my clients with. I was really stuck and really disconnected. So I was really stuck and really disconnected from my own purpose, and kind of I was building a life that I realized I was getting stuck in the day to day, and I was building a life that was kind of like just the day to day grind. And I knew that that wasn't meant for me. I knew that I would be really wealthy. I knew that I could build finances that way. I probably could have built wealth faster than I built it building my own company, right? Like I already had done pretty well in my industry and I could have continued on there. But what I didn't want was to wake up daily just feeling like I'm living this life of duty to create the expectations of what a life was supposed to look like, which in the United States is like, you get the house, you get the car, you get the marriage, you get the kids, and we kind of have a specific order that we do it in this particular country. I know in other countries it's a little bit different. So it really does also based on your culture. based on your cultures too, will also give you the indication of the specific social accepted steps that we're meant to take. Now, since I was falling into that and I wasn't appreciating it and I wasn't loving it, I really realized that this wasn't working out for me. So I made some drastic life changes and started to really dive deep into who I was, what that looked like, and uncovering why I wasn't actually doing what I really loved. And the more that I started to uncover the layers, the more I realized how much our limited perceptions get in the way of us doing what we love and the quantity of limited perceptions that are actually in our lives. Like sometimes we think, oh, if I just clear this perception, this will be the thing, and then I'll get there. Yes, yeah, you'll get to the next step. But then in that next step, you're going to have a different limited perception. And then all of a sudden, you're going to clear that one and you move to the next step and the next step.
Mm.
And this is kind of easy to see, especially in parenting. Like the first time anyone has a kid, what's going to happen? Like before you have a kid, you're going to just have all these limited perceptions on what it's like to have a kid. And then you have a kid, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, this is totally normal and everything's fine. But now I have all these limited perceptions on a toddler. And then, like young teens, and then the teenagers, and then in college, and it just keeps growing. So it's not to say that we ever get rid of our limited perceptions, but we overcome each one at a time. And the more that you understand how to do that, the more you'll have the connection and frequency of living in a valuable and purposeful life for yourself.
Yeah, I totally get that. Wow. Yeah, so do you have like a program for people to that you get them through?
Yeah. So I have multiple programs and also just one on one. And the whole, like, we work through the top stressors that you're going through because the reason why we do that is when you're stressed out, and like my whole basically my whole business is around making sure you're on track, on your purpose, on your vision, on your life. We focus on the top stressors that you have because every stressor that you have, everything that's a pain, right, something that's a massive pain, is something that you want to avoid. Now our brain is separated into multiple parts. We have the hind brain, which is like our animal mind, and it activates our amygdala, which is our fight or flight mechanism. And the minute that your fight or flight is activated, it's going to disconnect you from your forebrain. Your forebrain is your executive center, and that's where the planning, the strategy, objectivity comes in place, right? So every time you have a stressor in your life, it activates the amygdala and makes you want to run from anything that you're considering as a predator. And that takes your brain power and your brain space, and it disconnects you from your objectivity, and it disconnects you from your purpose. So we focus on all the stressors in different areas of life to ensure that we clear up all that brain noise and reconnect you to your vision, reconnect you to your purpose. Because imagine the biggest stressor that you have, the biggest stressor that you've ever had in your entire life. And if I
Very
told you,
clear.
very clear, I know everyone who's listening is like, got it, Carly,
Yeah.
100%. And I want you to see how that impacts you and how often you think about it and how often you focus on it and how it stresses you out. It even changes your physiology, it changes your energy level. If I told you that you could still have that same challenge, but you would feel completely different, that you wouldn't see it as something negative. You would be grateful for it and you would understand the purpose it serves in your life. All of a sudden, it wouldn't drain your energy. It would be a tool that you could use to move you forward. All of a sudden, it wouldn't be something that you think about every day as a problem because there's really no problem to solve. It's just one little thing. And then you could focus on what's most inspiring to you, which is your life purpose. So people think they're disconnected from their purpose, but the truth is your purpose, you can never lose it. It can never be lost. It's inside you on a regular basis. It's just getting rid of all the crap that's around it. And so our workshops are focused on different areas of life to make sure that we clear that crap. And the cool thing is, like, after every workshop that I have with clients, and even after one-on-ones, we're making sure not only do we clear all the crap, but it's like, great, next step, we've cleared the crap. After every workshop, we make our clients refocus on their vision, write it out, get more detail, get more clarity. And it's amazing to see how after every time they get some more insights on what's next, what's next, what's next, and then put it into action. Because also after you clear that crap and you connect to that inspired why, if the why is big enough, guess what? You're gonna make it happen. People say the how fall into place. It doesn't fall into place. um, you have just become so connected with something so important to you. The how doesn't fall into place. You make sure and are relentless at making it happen. If we look at Elon Musk, like the how did not fall into place for Elon Musk. Elon Musk is very connected to his why and he makes it happen. People try to stop him all the time. Yeah, but what does he do? He's gonna make it happen anyways. Even Oprah, like Oprah is an individual who for sure has had challenges and backlash and things come up, but she's going to make it happen because her why is too big for anyone else to tell her that it's not going to happen. The more that I can connect people with that why, the more that you don't need motivation, you don't need some external reward system. The reward comes from the inside. You're inspired, you're driven, and then you move forward. Procrastination is not, there's nothing wrong with you. It's a symptom based off you not pursuing things that are big enough. Why? That's it.
Holy freaky moly. As you can talk, you always find the stuff that you can relate to. And everybody knows on my podcast, my biggest stressor is my job. I'm the mail lady during the day and podcaster at night. But as you talking about it, I can see it, because right now I feel stuck. So the energy is horrible and this, and that. But when I do focus on my podcast and the stuff that I'm working behind the scenes, that gives me the energy that sometimes I don't go to sleep till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's why I'm tired the next day. But the point is like, I feel energetic and things like that. So now it's like changing the mindset, not really so much of the challenge, because the challenge might be there for a few months, a year or two, depending on your situation. But yeah, changing the mindset, like, yeah, oh my gosh, I know, I get it, Carly. I will work on it. No, that's awesome. And anything else that you would like my listeners to know?
Yeah, I actually, if I could share a little tidbit, because what you shared was really inspiring. Like, and it's kind of like spot on. For one, it's wisdom what you're doing right now. I do not suggest there's so much marketing out there that sells this fantasy of entrepreneurship and go out and quit your
Oh
job and
yeah,
make your own money. Oh my God, I did
thank you
that, you
for
guys,
talking about
and
it. Yes.
fantasy. So I did that. There's a shit ton that goes into business, which by the way, you just shared with us. You're up till 3 in the morning sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So there's so much that goes up on the back end. The reality is that it is hard and it is a challenge. And in the beginning, you're often doing a lot of work without getting a lot of income because you're building a business, you're building awareness. Yeah, it's a lot. And so like even you holding on to that job, like it's wisdom for you to keep your financial stability and to keep that part of your life in place. Because if you let that go, the cost would be so high to your own emotional stressors of having to try to make ends meet on a month-to-month basis, to feed yourself, to house yourself, to clothe yourself, that you couldn't show up as the podcaster that you would love to be. And so that job, these jobs that we have, you guys, before we shift over to full-time entrepreneurship, are the gift that help us build a business that's inspiring instead of out of desperation and trying to grasp on the clients and money, which by the way, I've done that before. And whenever I'm grasping onto clients and money, they do not sign up. They did not sign up with me. When I went back, I quit my job. When I went back and got a part time job again, I started to create clients because I stopped relying on them and grasping with desperation. And I started actually working with them out of inspiration. So when we look at that, it's changing the perception again and it's asking the question, how is this actually serving our purpose? And that gets rid of the stress. And what's cool too, Francine, I'm gonna give you some questions to ask yourself
Oh,
while
I
you're
love
delivering
it. I love it, please.
while you're delivering mail, because this will change how you feel about like what you're doing. It's just asking those questions, like while you're cruising around and delivering mail, is like, how does this help me reach people on my podcast? How does this job right now, exactly what I'm doing, how is this helping me in my podcasting? Am I learning about systems, structures, organization? Am I connecting with people? I bet you're connecting with people and learning how to communicate with them. And when you see the parallels to your job and the podcasting, it won't be stressful anymore because you'll realize even while you're delivering mail, you'll still be working on your inspired vision and purpose. And then you get energy from that too. So that's what I'm talking about is like anything that's a stressor, if you shift your perception to see how it aligns with what's truly important to you, you will realize that every day of your life can be carefully cultivated, no matter what you're doing, to actually give you the energy and inspiration to help you keep going and moving at that level that you love when you feel alive. That's how much power we have in our life. When I say create a life by design, I mean that you really get to design your life to wake up every morning and no matter what you're doing, say, I'm really looking forward to doing this because this is a life. This is my life. This is my magnificent life. It doesn't have to look like anything else that I've compared myself to, but my life is more magnificent than anything anyone else has told me. And when you have that certainty, and because I mean I see it like your job is perfect for what you do. The connection, the systems, the
Oh my
organization, the people. It's like perfection. All of a sudden you're like, shit, my life is amazing. I don't have to change it. And I just keep moving forward. And you wake up in that energy and it changes the dynamic of how you live, how you feel. It's just so important. We have that power.
I
Mhm.
freaking love that. So then at the end, when you were doing like the my life is amazing and this and that, my brain went to like bullshit, hell no. So went too far on that one. But you had me because I do love the customer side of it, the customer service. Oh my gosh, my customers love me and I love them. The feeling is mutual. It's more of the corporation, but
Yeah.
because of my habits and my things, I say that I am an entrepreneur working for a corporation. So they have to attend to my schedule and my needs instead of me being there for the corporation. But, anyways, that's another conversation for another day. But the customer side, oh my god, the skill, and even with management, and well, I really have good management. I don't want, this is the perfect office, is the corporation in general. But even that, because I'm building skills when they come at me with the wrong energy and me handling the problem without giving in, without reacting, that's building some skills for whatever
Yes.
happens in the future. So I can see that. And then, yeah, definitely with customer service, because I am a therapist.
Yep.
I am a executive assistant because they don't go to the. I run errands. I mean, I do a lot of things for my customers because I go to their house. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna come to you every freaking day and you'll be mad at me. Oh, the mail lady's coming. Everybody knows, the mail lady's coming. Everything is gonna be taken care of. So even you saying that, like, you see my energy change
It
because I was
shifted
like,
your
hell
energy. Yeah. And even it's funny because even your physiology changed. You're sitting up straighter now. I'm telling you, like the power of shifting your perception. And it's amazing because as you're starting to realize, even working on the corporation, you're starting to see and come up with these links. And you're like, well, it's actually helping me build a business because I'm learning about this and I'm learning about this. And you'll learn about management, and you learn about customer service, and you learn about processes and systems and what works and doesn't work. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, even the corporation is teaching me how to build a business and how to run a business. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm getting paid to build my podcasting business. That's it in a form that suits you. And it's really inspiring. And your whole energy shifted. And that's it. It's like that's I'm thank you for answering questions and kind of going through that because it's really helpful for people to see the possibilities of a quick, simple perceptual shift and how your whole physiology energy can change and now your whole experience around that position can change. And when you show up to the job, you'll feel differently about it and you'll be like, you know what, I kind of remember this and like this isn't as bad as I thought. And I'm like, okay, cool, what can I dive into next?
yeah, no, and definitely. And I have
Mhm.
changed my perspective a lot. It's
Yeah.
been 17 years with the post office. So, and then it was Lisa Nichols, I think, is
Mhm.
she talks about abundance and stuff like that. And she said she used her job to fund her dream life. And that was my first time years ago that I was like, oh, okay, yeah. But now I'm like, okay, well, I'm not funding anything right now because the bank account is in zero and things like that. So, but like change still focusing now in the skills is like the first time that I heard my job is funding my dream life. Now it's like my job is helping me build the skills that I need for the future. Like, holy smokes. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you for your job. Yeah. Uh,
Somebody gotta do it. That's what I tell my customers. Oh man. No, and I love it. And the feeling stuck is so normal too. Because when you go to work, it doesn't matter your position. If it's not your dream career, if you didn't wake up and said, I want to do this for the rest of my life, you're probably feeling stuck. And then just because everybody else is going to work and that's just the normal thing to do, you're stuck in this habit. And to see like my coworkers and my friends celebrated me this year because this is the first time that I went on Indeed to look for other options. Like I have talked about it for so long, but I have only seen one way. And now I'm opening the doors to see a different perspective and this different options, and the feeling is less feeling stuck. So I love your mission. As you can see, is necessary. You just help me.
awesome. Grateful.
Oh man, any other tips or resources that you want to share with us today? I'm here for it now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, anyone's welcome to connect with me. They can go to my website, carlypepin.com, and I've got lots of different social media avenues to connect on. I also have a newsletter, and if you sign up for the newsletter, I'll be doing a free training soon on some of this stuff. So you'll get an alert for that quite shortly as well. So, and those I'll be doing consistently. So you can check that out. We'll do some free trainings and understand more about how this stuff works, and then all the workshops and one-on-one opportunities. But I'm in it for life. So I'll be around for a really long time. So yeah, I don't
I
plan on
love
stopping
that.
anytime soon.
But the free training you said
Yeah.
is a repeated thing because this will be now. I just found out
Yes.
this is my first July interview. Woo woo.
Yeah, I have one actually in May, and then there'll be another one in July as well. So definitely sign up for the newsletter, and whenever I do these free trainings, they'll definitely come through the newsletter, and you can check that out. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time and your wisdom today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. And mean, go and check her out if you're feeling stuck today. And you can find my podcast in all major platforms as well as my YouTube channel. You know the drill. Like and subscribe. Help this girl out. Anyways, hope you have a blessed day.